I do my best to introduce this man and express to him all the love and admiration that I have for him. If you have any question about what his testimony is, look around you. No helicopters, no planes sitting in hangars, right? Drives a car that sits outside the church and puts the ties back into this ministry that blessed my life and blesses the lives of others. So without further ado, it is my pleasure to introduce to you my bishop, Timothy Joseph Clark.
I wish I could do that. Those days are jumping over. Good evening, everyone. Oh, that was pitiful. Good evening, everyone. I am so delighted to see you. Would you help me thank God for Brother Oliva and all that he means to this program and to the life of this church. I love him like a son and delighted he's here. How about celebrating one of the baddest sisters on the block? Give it up for Sister Stephanie Hightower, the CEO of Columbus Urban League, and all of the staff of Columbus Urban League. We're just so excited and delighted. Can I let the cat out the bag about the centennial celebration of the Urban League? The National Urban League next year turns 100 years old, and it is going to be held right here in Columbus, and you, because you're a part of the Urban League, will be some of the hosts for the centennial celebration of this great civil rights movement. So let's celebrate what God has done in these 100 years. I try not to be very lengthy on nights like this because the men in the program are really the heroes tonight. And I want everything tonight to really focus on them. But I want to do something as a prelude to my message. And I'm trying, come here for a minute. I spoke to you earlier. Will he come to me? Will you come to me? Come on. What's your name? Kevion? Kevion. Oh, that's your grandson. All right. Now, everybody say hi to Kevion. Kevion, say hi back to them. Hold on, I had the mic. Wait a minute. Say hi back to them. Hi. All right. Now, I'm going to use Kevion for an illustration. And I'm going to ask you to hear what I'm going to say and hear what I say, all right? And I'm going to do it for a reason and for a purpose, all right? Kevion, I want you to do me a favor, okay? Can I borrow you for a minute? All right. If you'll hold my mic for me. All right? All right. Thank you. Kevion, will you do me a favor? Would you wear my jacket? Put on. Oh, my Lord. That's not a real good fit on you, Kevion. I don't know if you can read. Let me see where it is. It's in here. There it is. Can you read what that says? He said you can't fit it. That's my name right there. You see that? That's my name. Now, the reason why my name is in that jacket is because that jacket was made for me. It wasn't made for Kevion. And here's what I need you to see. I know you're a little embarrassed then, but you look real good. And you could walk around all day in my jacket, and people would know that that jacket wasn't made for you because it doesn't fit you. Now, Kevion, that would be pretty bad if you're just wearing my jacket, but you could probably get away with it because you're a cool dude, you can pull it off. But you know what's really bad? Is that people, men, walk around not for one day. They walk around their whole lives wearing somebody else's stuff and never being themselves. And what I want to give KB on the hand, I'm going to let you go sit down. Give KB on the hand. All right? Now, what I want to talk about today to the brothers who are coming through this program, who are getting ready to graduate tonight, here's what I want to drop on you real quick. I want to drop on you that if you're really going to be everything you ought to be, want to be, and really were made to be, here's the key. You got to stop being willing to wear somebody else's stuff and start learning how to walk in what you have been given by God. You got to learn how not to be dependent. You know, when I was a boy growing up, the question used to be, I grew up in New York 100 years ago, question used to be, what are you wearing? Now, the question is not, what are you wearing? Question now is, who you wearing? Because everybody has somebody else's name sold on their clothes. Now, that's all right. I guess you want to spend extra money to wear somebody else's name. But here's the bottom line. Why would you want to wear someone else's name and never know who you are for yourself? So when you turn to a brother or sister near you and say, why don't you start? No, y'all got to do it. Say, why don't you start being yourself? All right? Now, the reason why I bring that up is there's a story in the Bible about a man by the name of David. David's a young man, and one day he goes to take some food to his brothers, only to discover when he gets there that there's this giant by the name of Goliath who's selling wolf tickets to the people of Israel. Now, all the other brothers are shaking in the boots. All the other brothers, you know, they pumpkin out, acting like, you never see somebody where somebody's cracking and they act like they don't hear. And you see, you heard what he just said. I ain't hear nothing, man. They just act like they didn't hear what Goliath was saying. David walks up. David hears what Goliath says, and he says, I ain't going to take that off him. And he decides, watch this, he's going to fight Goliath. David's a kid, he's a teenager. And so the king says to him, all right, you can go fight him. You just have to wear my stuff. And so he tries to put on Saul's armor. And guess what, y'all? He looks like Gideon in my jacket. It just doesn't fit him. So David takes off Saul's stuff and gets the stuff he knows works for him, a slingshot and some rocks, and takes the giant down because he uses his stuff. I want to talk about that for the next 5 minutes because I believe there are 3 things every brother got to do if you're going to be who God wants you to be. Here's the first one. First thing you got to do is self-awareness. Everybody say self-awareness. But one of the things I think messes us up, y'all, is too many of us don't know ourselves. We never take time to study ourselves. Now what's amazing, average brother in this room can tell you all of LeBron's statistics. Average brother in this room can tell you everything Stephon did last year. An average brother can converse with you for an hour about Draymond. Average brother can talk about KD all night long. Isn't it amazing? You know everything about somebody else and don't hardly know anything about yourself. It's self-awareness. First place you got to start. Are y'all still with me? No, okay, I missed you. Are y'all still with me? First place, you in church, you got to talk back to the preacher. First place you got to start, let the whole church say self-awareness. And self-awareness starts with knowing who you are as a person. Knowing who you are, what you're good at, what you like, what you want in life. The average brother, and for that matter, the average sister. If I were to walk up to you right now, hand you this mic, say, you know what, take 2 minutes, tell me what you really like. Tell me what you really want. Tell me what excites you. Tell me what gets your engine running. Average brother, average sister. even tell us who you are because you have no sense of self-awareness. You have to study yourself. You have to know who you are. And let me say this as I move to my second point. You are worth knowing. Amen should have gone right there. You are worth knowing. You have value. You are somebody. You are important. You are significant. And if you are, because you know what? You know everything about KD and everything about JB, about LB, and everything about Stephon. You know what? You know it. And everything about Beyonce. You know why you know it? Because you think they're important. But you don't know anything about yourself because you don't think you really matter. It starts with self-awareness, who you are as a person. If you turn to somebody and ask them, who you wearing tonight? Don't be scared, they're going to hit you in front of me. Ask them, who you wearing tonight? Who you wearing tonight? Here's the second thing. It's not just self-awareness. The second thing you have to have is self-acceptance. Man. Self-acceptance. Now, let me tell you what I mean by that. You have to like yourself. Amen. Okay, look how quiet y'all got. No, in fact, I want you to do something. I want you to say out loud, I am wonderful. I am wonderful. Okay, let's try this. Y'all did that real good. Say, I'm fine. Some of the sisters like, yeah. Yeah, you are. Self-acceptance. It's about your person. It's about your presence. It's about not just, are y'all still with me? Not just knowing who you are. Can I throw this down on y'all? It's liking who you are. It's looking in the mirror every morning and want to jump back and kiss yourself. It's accepting who you are. It's going through your day, stay with me, giving yourself inner high fives. Just throughout the day, they're saying, you so bad, I'm going to give you a high five. It's not just being able to have a sense of self-awareness. It's about having a sense of self-acceptance. That you are good just like you are. You don't have to be taller or lighter or thinner or with a different colored set of eyes or a different style here or somebody's name on your clothes or a certain kind of car. I was talking to somebody, always talking about my car. And I got laughed because I had my truck out tonight because it's bad. And I drive when I was born, they called them used. Now they call them pre-owned. I have a pre-owned truck. And so when I bought it, some of my members said, Pastor, is that? I said, yes. They said, well, it's not new. I said, yeah. They said, oh, you pastor this church. You can get you a truck. I said, yeah, I could. But here's the thing. When I'm driving it, don't nobody know when I bought it. I mean, there's no sign on it saying he bought it pre-owned. When I pull up to the light, they think I got it new because of who I is. Here's what I believe. Watch this, y'all. I believe in myself so much that if I started driving, now you got to be old to remember this. Everybody remember Hugo? Remember Hugo? I believe I'm so bad, watch this, that if I started driving a Hugo, thousands of folks would go by just to be like me. I don't let people determine what I do. I believe I get to determine not only what I do, but I can have an impact on other people. You know why? Because of self-awareness and watch this, self-acceptance. You have to not only know yourself, you have to like yourself. So say one time with me, say, I like myself. I now, y'all, I don't believe it. I don't believe it. Now, say like you be, twisting your neck and stuff. Say, I like myself. Yeah, something. So there's self-awareness. There's self-acceptance. Here's the last one, and I'm going to go. Everybody say, big word coming. Self-actualization. Oh, look at y'all. Y'all using multi-syllable words. Self-awareness, self-acceptance, self-actualization. You know what that word means? The word self-actualization, watch this, simply means that I live to discover my purpose and my potential. That I don't settle for where I am and what I have, because I know there's more in me. I want to challenge the brothers tonight. I'm so proud of y'all. But let me say this. The word commencement, it's funny that we call graduation commencement, because that means it's the end of the program or the end of the school or the end of this moment in your life. But to commence something, watch this, really means to start. Which means tonight is not the end. Tonight is really just the beginning. For every brother we're going to applaud for in a few minutes. You have to move now to where you begin to actualize yourself. To say, if I could do this, I can do something else. If I can finish this program, I can go get my GED. If I get my GED, I can get my bachelor's. If I get my bachelor's, I can get my master's. If I get my master's, I can be a PhD. I can own a business. I can be a counselor. I can be a mentor. I can help somebody else. But you got to take off my jacket like Cavion. You can't wear my stuff. You got to find your own stuff. Self-awareness, self-acceptance, self-actualization. That's what makes you who God made you to be. And I pray tonight with everything in me that that's how you'll live your life. That you'll stop just wearing other folks' stuff and trying to be somebody else. That's what Dr. King said in that poem he loved. If you can't be a pine on the top of a hill, be a shrub in the valley, but be the best little shrub by the side of a rill. Be a bush if you can't be a tree. If you can't be a highway, be a trail. If you can't be the sun, be a star. For it isn't by size that you win or you fail. So just be the best of whatever you are. And if you do that, all of heaven will applaud you because you found out who you are. I love you. Have a great day. This is my chicken eating brother. What was that restaurant we went to in Easton? Hot chicken takeover. My God, I was in there Saturday. Let your church say amen.
Good evening. Good evening. Can I get all the choose to change participants? Start forming a line up here. To my right, all the choose to change participants, please. They look good today, young man. Again, good evening. My name is Derek Foster. I'm one of the program coordinators for the Choose to Change program. I also want to introduce my partner in crime, Mr. Joey Green. Mr. Green. I think he's trying to get some chairs. He's always moving around. But Mr. Green is also a co-facilitator for the Choose to Change program. Also want to acknowledge a couple partners. Liberty Hill Baptist Church, are you here today? We want to thank you guys today. These guys, Liberty Hill, donated wallets to our young men. So you know, a lot of times we had nowhere to put the ID. So they actually donated those wallets. We definitely want to thank you for that. Dr. Donnelly. And Anna Turner shout out to some of those people. Let me tell you a little bit about what Choose to Change program is. Choose to Change program helps ex-offenders become restored citizens and better individuals through supportive services that enable them to develop successful reentry strategies for self-improvement and change. We understand that these men come home every day ill-equipped, and our goal is to help eliminate some of the barriers that has kept these men from being productive citizens in their community. Real quick, I want to read y'all some statistics, because I really believe this is important, and I really believe we need to hear this right now. 1 in 3 African American men who are born in the United States will be incarcerated at some point during their lifetime. 1 million African Americans make up the 2.3 million of the prison population. That's almost 50% of the prison population. But African Americans only make up about 12% of the U.S. population. In 2016, Columbus, Ohio, there was 106 homicides. Over 80% were African Americans. This year, 2017, Columbus, Ohio, 133 homicides as of today. Over 115 of those murders are black men. 27 more than last year. And we are 6 homicides away from becoming the highest murder rate in Columbus history. I just want everyone to just take about 5 seconds and think about what I just said. This is the reason why we do this work. The goal of the Choose to Change program in the Columbus Urban League is to change some of these statistics. But we can't do this alone. We need everyone to play a role in this change. I'm pleading to you today, that we all pay attention to what's going on in our society. Our young men are dying at an alarming rate. Let's all grab a young man and give him some hope and let him know there is another way. These men will not have completely changed in a 10-week program, but our goal is to put them in the right frame of mind to make a change. Change is very hard, especially when you've been doing something a certain way your entire life. But if you are willing to be committed, those sacrifices and different decisions that you make in your life will start to come easily to you. I would like to congratulate these men on their continued success in the near future. The word I want to leave the men with tonight is attitude. The longer I live, the more I realize the impact of attitude on life. Attitude to me is more important than facts. It is more important than the past, the education, the money, than circumstances, than failure, than successes, than what other people think or say or do. It is more important than appearance, giftedness, or skill. It will make or break a company, a church, or a home. The remarkable thing is we have a choice every day regarding the attitude we will embrace for that day. We cannot change our past. We cannot change the inevitable. The only thing we can do is play on the one string we have, and that is our attitude. I am convinced that life is 10% what happens to me, and 90% of how you react to it. And so it is with you. We are in charge of our attitude. Again, I would like to congratulate these men, and let's get to the certificates. First up, DeAndre Birdsong. Michael Douglas. Jeremy Dudley. Jeremy clean like his dad. We got Majid Dunir. Majid wasn't able to get home and get his suit. We still gonna definitely acknowledge him. Appreciate you, brother. Brandon Graham. Roosevelt Green. Taywan Green. Christian Hostins. My man, Corey Lowe. Alfonso.
Okay.
Yeah. Lamondre Mosley. Ricky Sumner. Can we give them guys another round of applause? Most of our young men are mandated to be in our program. So a lot of times me and Mr. Green feel like we're salesmen. So first few weeks of the program, we kind of got to sell the program. But a lot of times at the end, we think we do a pretty good job of selling. So, I hope these men stay successful and continue, support us. The Columbus League, Berkeley League is always here for you. Anytime you need us, like I told you before, our doors are always open and our phones are always on. Again, thank y'all, we appreciate you.
Will all the father graduates please come over to the wall over here on the right, please. Before I begin, hopefully everybody feels us in the room, but at the Columbus Urban League, we definitely know that these men are part of the solution and not part of the problem. Can we give Choose to Change another round of applause? Before I begin talking about the Father to Father program, our program
is humbled and proud to say that we have broken the myth that urban men are deadbeat dads. Our program has paid over $4 million in child support, as well as we have over 900 graduates. Good evening. My name is Mark Dodley, Program Coordinator of the Father to Father program. Thank you to Ms. Stephanie Hightower for allowing me to be Program Coordinator and doing the work that I love. Can we give our President and CEO, Ms. Stephanie Hightower, a applause? The Columbus Urban League's Father to Father initiative engages members of our urban community, providing life-changing strategies designed to increase self-sufficiency and achieve family stabilization. Fathers involved with this initiative will learn to initiate or improve their role as a responsible and nurturing fathers, building parenting skills through education. Father-to-father objectives are completing nurturing father curriculum in 10 weeks, completion of adult adolescent parenting inventory, education on visitation, custody, and advocacy, individualized child support advocacy and assistance, community resources linkage, advocacy for active and responsible fatherhood. Our men do take a pre-post test to see if they are at risk for abuse, and I'm proud to say that all of our men graduate with adequate parenting skills. So again, can we give them a round of applause? We use a curriculum called the Nurturing Fathers Curriculum, which is accredited by the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, and it is recognized as an evidence-based model that effectively supports the growth of fathers. We help dads navigate through barriers to fatherhood by using wraparound methodology, wraparound services, as well as our fathers receive programming from experts from partner agencies who provide resources that will assist fathers to remove barriers to responsible fatherhood. Each man gets a life coach. They are assigned a life coach who helps them in developing an individualized success plan. The life coach advocates for the father as needed in multiple systems, whatever that may be, child support, the court, and other systems. We also support navigation of barriers to responsible fatherhood, and we link participants to other resources outside of the Columbus Urban League if needed. We have a unique environment. We feel it's a father-friendly environment that is staffed by professionals who will advocate for fathers whose goal is healthy and positive parenting. Fathers will have on-site access to all of Columbus Urban League services, and one of the hottest one out is our 700 Club. So each of these men have the ability and the resource to get a awesome credit score. We have free parent-child events. Some of our signature events include Fishing with Dads, Bowling with Dads, Celebrating Fathers at Coastside, as well as Family Friday events at our Head Start Center. And of course, our AAMI Graduation. So one last time, can we give these fathers a round of applause? May God bless fatherhood, and may God bless the Columbus Urban League. And of course, God bless our bishop. Thank you. Ramon Bailey. Mr. Terrence Bowen. Mr. Anthony Burks. Mr. John Carter. Brother Derek Chafin. You know, it's interesting to see these guys bond over 10 weeks. They have each other's numbers and support each other in their fatherhood journey. Mr. Stephen Davis. David Evans. Brother Horace Howard. Larry Jackson. Guy we grew up together, Mr. Donnell Kirksey. Yeah, this next brother coming up, he had an old soul and always had words of encouragement. Brother Frederick Lee. Mr. Adam Rowan. This is our entrepreneur coming up next, Brother Michael Robinson. This next guy, he was the young guy, and he would tell the older guys, hold on, I can do this daddy thing too, you know. That's Brother Jeffrey Shropshire. This next gentleman, outstanding story. He traveled as far away as Florida and now has custody of his kids. Can we give it up for Mr. Robert Smith? And last but not least, Brother Frederick Lee. Oh, I'm sorry, we have one more left. Brother, he already sitting in the back of the class too, low key, you look good tonight. Brother Tyrone Tucker. And one last round of applause for class number 34, Father Pop. Each graduation we have a class spokesperson. And this brother stuck to his guns all the time, and Dave always says, you know, have you talked to the mother? Have you talked to the mother? And he was like committed, like I don't need no system. Me and mom's gonna work this out. And we're really proud of him. He stuck his guns when the older guys came at him. He said, man, I can do this daddy thing. So our class speaker is Mr. Jeffrey Shropshire.
How you guys doing? We're good. Yeah, this father program, honestly, I went down to child support, and ironically, I found it out from a guy down there. We're going through payment situations, and he overheard my situation, and he was like, oh, bro, man, I got the program for you. And I was like, he told me about Father to Father, and it is amazing how God places certain people in your life at the most, you know, unknown times. You know, I'm looking around like, never saw this guy a day in my life, you know, and I put it off a little bit, you know. I was like, yeah, the program sounds interesting, but put it past, and then someone was telling me, you know, the inside was just telling me, try this program, and I'm so glad I did, because I met these fine brothers right here, along with Mr. Dolly. This program is more than just father. Of course, it inspired me to be a better parent, a better man, but I feel like before you become a better father, you gotta work on yourself and be a better man. And you know, I learned from a lot from these guys. Most of them are older than me, but they could relate. They told me a lot of their stories, and it really humbled me. You know, sometimes you feel like the situations are basically in the situation, everything could be worse. You know, sometimes you're in a situation where you think it's, oh, this, why is this happening? And you know, we all know joy comes in the morning. You know what I mean? We can just endure it through the night. It always comes in the morning. And that was the biggest thing. You know, sometimes we come across battles, you know, obstacles coming our way, but you know, we can just fight, endure, you know, pray our way through. Joy will come in the morning, man. And I want to give it back to Mr. Dolly, man. Like I said, I definitely appreciate you, man. And he came real quick to become Coach Dolly, you know. And one time for my brotherhood, it's about the mother and father of the child. Man, hold on, man. We got an audience. It's about the mother and father of the child. Yeah, absolutely about the child. Thank you, man. Appreciate it.
Next we have from our Moms to Be program, Father to Father 2.0, Mr. David Llewellyn.
I told him make sure remember that 2.0, Father to Father 2.0. We are so excited about the opportunity that we have had to work with fathers, new and expected fathers here in Franklin County in regards to lowering the infant mortality rate here in Franklin County. As many of you may or may not know, Franklin County leads the country. We're one of the leading counties in the country in regards to infant mortality deaths, where our babies are not making it to their very first birthday. And so we're really excited about the work that we have done here in Franklin County with some of our partners who are here with us today. Of course, from the Ohio Commission on Fatherhood, Kimberly Dent. We thank her for all of her work that she's done in helping us with this work. We are very excited to have her with us. Of course, we have one of our new partners here with us that will be working with us in tackling this work that we're doing, and that is Action for Children. We have two representatives here, Ashiko Hudson, and he's brought a colleague with him. Come on, y'all getting better than that. So we're very excited about the work that we're doing. In 2015, the Columbus Urban League partnered with the Ohio Commission on Fatherhood, Moms to Be, in the Ohio State Medical Wexner Center to offer educational sessions to new and expecting fathers. The targeted population for this initiative was low-income men living in areas of concentrated poverty. These men are more likely to live in communities with higher rates of crime, unemployment, low educational attainment, and violence. Positive role models, supported networks, and good examples of fatherhood are sometimes hard to come by in these communities. The need for strong fatherhood networks in these communities was evident, and the partnership presented an opportunity to step into this gap. Since the beginning of the pilot initiative in 2015, we have served more than 225 fathers, and we have documented over 40 healthy birth outcomes with our dads, which is lowering the infant mortality rate. So the goal for the initiative that we are working on is to go into these high concentrated areas and offer education to dads that are expecting newborns. A lot of the dads that we work with, unfortunately, are in a position to be a father not knowing how to be a father because they did not have a father growing up. And what we found out throughout this time that we've worked with the father-to-father dads and also this new initiative is that dads do want to be great dads. Sometimes they just don't know how to do it. They don't have the resources necessary to do so. And so with the work that we've done in the Father-to-Father program, we wanted to stay in that same vein. And so we now have what we call our Father-to-Father 2.0, where we are focusing on the infant mortality rate here in Franklin County. And we're so excited about the work that we've done. Our partner, Ohio State Moms to Be, could not be here with us tonight, but we would like to thank them in their absence for the support that they've given us. And we are extremely excited about the work that we're doing and working with dads. African American babies die at twice the rate as white and Hispanic babies in Franklin County, and we are excited about helping with that. So today we wanted to honor a few of our dads that have been successful at celebrating the first year of birth with their children, and we have a few of them here with us today. And we'd like to present them with a small token of appreciation for them participating in our program. So at this time, we'd like to call them up. The first dad we'd like to call up is Pierre Johnson. Pierre is here with his partner and their child. Pierre is a participant of our East Side location. We'd like to call up Richard Heshman. His partner is at home with the baby. She had a C-section, so she's still recovering. But Richard pressed his way out. He had a healthy baby girl. Joseph Johnson, or Joseph Jefferson, I don't know why I don't call him Johnson, Joseph Jefferson Jr. I really appreciate Joseph. He's always got positive feedback for our dads in our groups, and I really appreciate him. So we're giving them a certification of completion, and we're also giving them a diaper bag so that they have one. It ain't all girly, it's black, so it's for dads. You know what I mean? You can walk around with a pink diaper bag. You understand me? All right. And last but not least, we wanted to honor our first father that participated and graduated from our program. He could not be here tonight, something came up, but his partner is here with their baby. And Tanya, if you could stand up or just wave your hand or something. So it's very dear to me. When we first started this pilot, he was our first participant. One of the things that we do to support our dads is we like to go up to the hospital when they have the baby. We take them a small token, a small gift, and so we go up there. A lot of our dads have not had the support such as that. So we go up and we celebrate with our dads, and that was the very first baby that I visited. Hi, Layla. All right, I want to recognize my partner, who has been a tremendous help to me, Derek Lewis, who has come aboard and been a phenomenal help. It's been a crazy ride these last 2+ years, and he's made it really easy for me to transition and continue doing the work that I do, so I want to thank you. So that's it. At this time, we're going to turn it over to Lorenzo Brentan, who is going to come up for the I Am My Brother's Keeper initiative.
Good evening. The I Am My Brother's Keeper program is designed to build strong, healthy young men of color. And these 4 young men tonight that will be awarded represent everything that the I Am My Brother's Keeper initiative is about. The 4 pillars of our peer-to-peer mentorship initiative, the Junior Shepherds, is about resilience, strength of character, education, and leadership. The first young man has become a responsible leader to our younger generation of I Am My Brother's Keeper participants. Always willing to jump in and help, Genesis Cochran. Now you have to prove yourself to be a junior shepherd in our program. And while working as a referee, playing on a basketball team, as well as still making time to get trained as a junior shepherd, I'd like to welcome our newest junior shepherd. Come on now. Our next young man, what can I say? Lavelle Morrison. He's worked over this last 9 weeks to change his grade point average from probably a 0.6 all the way up to a 2.5. Finally, education. Our first graduating senior, Devontae Payne. Devontae went from last year holding a 1.6 GPA to now this year holding a 3.4 GPA. And this is what IMBK is about. We're about empowering young men, trying to stop the prison pipeline that's been going on for years.
Thank you, Lorenzo. I just want to point out one quick thing. When we first met these two young men in AAMI, it was in a mediation. Their families were at war. They themselves were at war. There were kids fighting and shooting at one another in the street. Now these two young men are like brothers because of the work of the Columbus Urban Fund. People like Charles Martin, Lorenzo Brent, and our assistant director who likes to stay in the shadow, a brilliant young woman, Alicia Willis. But this is the work that we're doing.
I'd like to turn this back over to Olika Wall.
Thank you everyone for your patience. Thank you to all the graduates. I and my brothers keep for Choose to Change, Father to Father, Father to Father 2.0. Can we give these gentlemen one more round of applause? So at this time, we're going to do something that we've never done before. In our communities, when guys go to the penitentiary, when I was young, you go to the penitentiary, that was called a strike. You come home and you get props for going to the joint, you get props for shooting a gun, you get props for getting locked up, for shooting an enemy, for the first time you get high, for the first time you get drunk, all these false measures of manhood. So then you go to the joint and it's validated, and then you come home and you bring that same narrative back to our communities. And our communities become extensions of the prison yard. We transfer them same mores and belief systems back into our children. But it's men that come through Choose to Change and Father to Father that choose to take a different road. They choose to take a higher road. And we choose to recognize one of them this evening because we want to change that narrative. We want to give our seed something else to aspire to be. And so without further ado, I would like to introduce to you the first recipient of the annual Urban Legend Award, Tracy Kirby. Now I'm going to turn the mic over to this fine brother, but I wanted you to be able to see him. Because it's not just hearing about us overcoming tremendous odds, overcoming the streets, right? Overcoming the hood to become great. But I wanted you to be able to also put a picture in your mind. The books that each one of our graduates this evening are holding are the product of this fine man. And we chose to give everybody one. I hope, and in addition, Mr. Kirby was honored with a letter from our Senator, Charlita DeForest. All right? So we have the letter framed from the Senator, and we also have the first annual plaque for the Urban Legend Award. Mr. Kirby.
Thank you, Jesus.
Amen.
I said, thank you, Jesus.
Amen.
God is good.
Amen.
And he's more than good, he's awesome. I told my wife, she said, baby, don't cry tonight.
try to hold it together. But I'm so full of joy, and I'm so full of life right now, because
Take your time.
I realize that all of this right here is by the grace of God. So, before I say anything else, I want to acknowledge Almighty God for blessing me, for watching over me, for giving me life again, for His grace and His mercy, because I know without God none of this is possible. And I know that God is the ultimate changer. When we talk about choose to change, and we talk about transformation, and we talk about turning over a new leaf in life and becoming all these great things, the thing about it is that without God, none of that is possible. And so I do this quite often. Motivational speaking, I'm an author, mentor, motivational speaker, and tonight I just had to make it a point to acknowledge God first in my life. He's the head of my life. And so everything after that transpires after that comes from God. And so when I talk about my transformation, I had to get in touch with some things. And here's the first thing. First it was God, and I got to acknowledge my wife and my family. You know, my wife, Angela Kirby, we've been together 18 years. And when we first met, I was out in the streets of Columbus, running up and down Main Street. And she pulled over one night, rolled down her window, asked me what my name was. We exchanged phone numbers, started talking. That was 18 years ago. And the point that I want to make tonight is that I love my wife because she was supportive even at my worst. She loved me when I was at my worst, and she stuck by my side. So all them food boxes, them clothes boxes, taking them calls, and I'm pretty sure some of y'all can identify what I'm talking about, keeping that phone line on so I can get some life in me while I was in there doing 9 years. My kids sticking by my side. My daughter Destiny, I love you. My grandbaby Dariana. My grandson Kavion. My daughter Ashanti. My other son Mikey couldn't be here. And my daughter Kelly, who works at Hot Chicken Takeover. But I had to acknowledge God. I had to acknowledge my family first. See, because part of changing is understanding what and who you come from. When we talk about self-acceptance and when we talk about self-esteem and everything like that, the thing that I'm understanding is that this is not about me. All this that's happening in my life and transpiring in my life is not about me. It's about the people in me. It's about the people that's connected to me. You know, so I wanted to acknowledge God, acknowledge my family, acknowledge Bishop Clark and First Church of God, because when I was in prison, I was in my cell, and when I had that man in the mirror experience and I started coming to myself and working on myself, I tuned in every Sunday morning every Sunday morning to your program. And I never forget, the first two faces that I seen was you and your wife. And the love that they expressed through that TV. And then when I tuned in and started listening to this man minister to me, minister to my soul, minister to my situation, I began to change. And I made a commitment, Pastor, Bishop. I said, when I get home, that's my church. And here's that, we here. I'm here. This is my church, because I realized that part of this process was the understanding that I had to have God in my life. In order for me to continue to grow and go any direction in my life, I needed to have God first in my life. So I want to thank Bishop Clark for his love, his spiritual leadership, his guidance, and just an example of a man of God. Walking right, living right. And not only that, but how it affected the family, my family structure. And because I understand today that the prison system and what it does to the family structure, it destroys the family structure. The women are left alone to raise children, to provide, protect, and to secure, when that's our ultimate responsibility as men. Those are the three things that are part of our character as men: to provide, to protect, and to secure. That's your job. Her job is to assist you. That's why they call it the rib, because she's right here. And so everything that you produce, she can take it and reproduce it and make it do a little something else after you provide it. You know, one of the main things that I need to do tonight, and I'm not going to be too long, I'm sorry, but I have to do this. This woman has done something I don't even know she even realized what she did in my life. But Miss Stephanie Hightower, lady, ma'am, if you will, I want to thank you so much for all the hard work and everything that you do. I want to thank God for putting you on this earth, because you have enriched my life in so many ways. And I just want to point out something to everybody tonight. Because I did some homework. I said, let me do some little bit of research. Now, this woman won 100-meter hurdles in 1980 in Philadelphia, my hometown. That's where I'm from. At the Liberty Bell Classic, right? Then she went on to the Pan American Games in 1987 and won a silver medal. Now watch this. Through the whole 80s, nobody could beat this woman on the track. Nobody. She was winning every race. And then when they boycotted the Olympics, she kept on winning. I'm talking about drive and courage and dedication and commitment that this woman, she had it already in her. I watched her in the video when she got in the block, how she prepared her feet, and she had a look on her face, a focus, and when she got in the block, how she kicked her feet out, and how she put her shoes, her cleats on and everything. But when she got in that block, and she looked up, and before they say, on your mark, get set, and when she took off, it was something, it's off the hook. Because when she started running, and you know they have a form when you run track, but her form, when she started kicking that arm back, watch out. And I mean, she was beating them. She was beating them. And then the other thing that really astonished me was the fact that not only did she do her thing on the track and field, but it was after the track and field. this woman became so much in the track and field world with the UTAF. I did my homework, Ms. Hightower. And I followed you, and I said, wow, this woman really was on something, but I understand it. And then I looked at when you was at Villanova University, you spoke about the power of standing alone. The courage that it takes to be in a position when you feel like nobody's there. When sometimes you feel like you're isolated or your back is against the wall, and you have that determination and that courage and that faith and that drive to fight on and to win that race. So I say all that to say this. I am a byproduct now of that same drive, that same courage, that same fierceness to what nobody else can see what I see or hear what I hear. When God speaks to me, I know that it's for me. I have a plan and a purpose. My grandma always said, Tracy, you got a plan and a purpose in your life. God has a plan and a purpose in your life. And I never forget, I'm sitting here looking at my grandson, Kavion, and I never forget, when I was a little boy, I used to stand up in my grandfather's pulpit and imitate him after church. And I used to stand up there, I'd be 6 years old, and I'd be standing up on the podium talking and preaching like him. And then Miss Fields would come chase me out and say, get out of here, boy, get out. And I'd be up there trying to act like my grandfather. But I understand that God has a plan and a purpose for your life. And all you have to do is pursue it. You know, there used to be a time where, and I'm going to end it here, there used to be a time where old folks used to say, oh, that's so-and-so's grandson. Or that's so-and-so's child. Or that's Miss Hightower's granddaughter. You know, the family name meant something. A long time ago, you was identified by the family name, who you belong to. Right, Dr. Donnelly? They identified you like, oh, that's somebody's grandson. And so now what I understand about the Columbus Urban League and Choose to Change, this is a household name. Because when I walked downtown with Miss Hightower one day for the closet, they recognized her immediately. And as soon as she mentioned the program, automatically it got favored. So what I'm saying to you today, man, is that Choose to Change and Follow the Father, it's a well-known program, it's a household name, and walk with pride, knowing that you belong to something, and that you belong to someone, and that you belong to a group that's fantastic, that's great, that's recognized throughout the city. You know, in closing, I just want to say thank you for giving me this opportunity to receive this award. And I just want all of you to understand that change is a continuous process. It does not stop. So even after the graduation today, continue on to grow and learn and work on yourself and change. Thank you. I'm Tracy.
All right, so real quick, gentlemen, my Choose to Change brothers, we're going to need to get a picture with everybody before y'all take off. So just give me 5 more minutes of your time, and we're going to be done. So, again, it's my job. We've come to the conclusion of our program this evening. I would like for our father graduates, our AAMI graduates, and our brothers from Choose to Change to give me a second so we can commemorate this moment and get a photo. Okay, so we're going to dismiss with a prayer the way we opened up. Thank you, Bishop. Thank you to President Hightower. Thank you to all the sisters and the mothers that came out. Lord, we come before you as humbly as we know how, just to ask your blessing as we leave this place, that you would dismiss us from this place, but never from your presence, that you would protect us as we go, and that when we arrive back home, that all of our days will be as we left them, if not better. We pray the blessing on the lives of the families that are here and the ones that could not make it. All these things, we pray in Jesus' name. Amen. Thank you for coming, and have a blessed evening.